Good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Always excited to share the news with you. And folks, in the state of Minnesota, we have real problems. We have real fraud. We also have a lot of woke politicians, and they are not producing good policies. In fact, they have been doing pressers lately. Now, I want you to think about the fact that there have been numerous murders. We had riots. Jacob Fry was missing during the riots. Tim Walz was kind of missing, and then he came out. And then his daughter was tweeting where the National Guard was located so that the criminals could get away. And now we have a county attorney in Hennepin County that might be the worst in the nation. I've got some video of that, but I do want to mention, too, that the chief of police, Brian O'Hara, was quick to talk about how, this is terrible. A lot of people in the community are scared and we don't work with ICE. Well, he's just restating policies that are already there. But he talked about upholding law and order. And I'm thinking to myself, wait, you're talking about upholding law and order, but you're not willing to work with ICE. You will not turn over people who are here illegally. That seems to be a little contradictory statement. Please do go check out my sponsor too, MyPillow, mypillow.com/lumberjack for big savings on the best sleep products available.
This is Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty. There are reports that the Trump administration is planning to send ICE agents here to the Twin Cities to target our neighbors of Somali descent. This is part of a recent pattern to single out our Somali community members. This is rooted in the idea that if they spew hatred, it will divide us. But we won't let that happen. There are no roving gangs of Somali people in this community harassing, threatening, doing anything to any of our community members. And let me repeat that again, because I've heard this often. There are no roving gangs of Somalis targeting or harassing or doing anything inappropriate to any community members. Those are simply lies. It is not true.
That, my friends, is a complete fabricated lie. It's actually a real problem in the Twin Cities. You can speak to the police officers down there, but roving gangs of Somali youth are a real problem down there. They're dealing with this nightly. In fact, there's a documentary out there, and one of the experts on Somali gangs happens to be a police officer from Minnesota, and he is in that documentary as that expert. So this is a real problem that they're dealing with down there in the Twin Cities. It's not a made-up problem. In fact, using just a simple AI search, you can see here Somali gangs in Minnesota, such as the Somali Outlaws, meaning there's more than one Somali gang, are involved in various criminal activities, including drug trafficking and violence. These gangs primarily operate in areas with significant Somali American populations, like Minneapolis and St. Paul. This is from Wikipedia, and the FBI is where the AI is pulling this from. Mary Moriarty, you need to understand, is a Soros-backed prosecutor. And furthermore, not only is she wrong on this issue, folks, she's wrong on just about everything. And she has actually been responsible for letting a lot of people go free with very serious crimes. I'm going to read to you something out of the New York Post. This is back from October 3rd. Minneapolis's progressive district attorney is under fire for her woke policy that allows accused rapists, pedophiles, and killers to stay free. Folks, this apparently is a bridge too far even for Keith Ellison. We'll get into him more later, but Hennepin County District Attorney Mary Moriarty, 59, took office in January, and you know what she promised? To deliver more safety and more justice to the community. She's done the exact opposite. Since then, however, she has horrified local families and officials by pushing for suspects in even the most serious crimes to get probation in an effort to keep them out of prison, according to the Star Tribune. The Star Tribune is one of the most communist liberal rags in the entire nation, folks. One of the absolute worst papers, probably further down the line than even the New York Times. So when they're saying this, boy, it's really bad. Veteran prosecutor Catherine Markey was only told moments before a plea hearing that the DA was only seeking probation for one of the teens involved in the 2019 carjacking that killed her son, Stephen Markey. It's a trend definitely because of Mary Moriarty, the former prosecutor, told the paper of those accused of serious crimes getting slap on the wrist deals. She's still playing public defender. The only thing, that's not her role anymore, Markey said of the city's chief prosecutor. So she is now the chief prosecutor, but she was a public defender. She's still acting as a public defender, and she's not being truthful with the citizens of Minneapolis. She's not being truthful with anybody right now. Saying that Somali gangs, the youth gangs, are not a problem, that's where carjackings are actually coming from. It's a crazy thing that's going on in the cities, but let's hear the rest of what she has to say.
Our office at the Hennepin County Attorney's Office here will not assist in any way, shape, or form in any of these ICE raids. From our small business owners to our healthcare workers, to our Lyft and Uber drivers, to children growing up in Cedar Riverside and families shopping at the Carmel Mall, our Somali community members are what makes Minneapolis one of the finest places in the world to live. We will not let Trump's hatred divide us. We will stand side by side with our Somali community members.
No, actually, Mary, the dividing is being done by the woke DAs who allow criminals to run free on our streets. That's the real problem. Simply because they're saying that if you do lock these people up, that's racism. That's not racism. That's called justice. You're part of the criminal justice system, Mary. Get with it. It's not about Trump dividing us. It's about policies that are dividing us. We are on to you. We know your game. You're not fooling us. Now I want you to watch something really interesting. In these next two clips, you're going to see Jacob Fry. I want you to look at the person behind him and then look in the next clip. He is a member of Minneapolis City Council. He's also involved in the fraud himself.
Good afternoon. My name is Jacob Fry. I'm the mayor of Minneapolis, and we are here to respond to a number of credible reports from several media outlets relaying that there are as many as 100 federal agents that will be deployed to the Twin Cities with a specific focus on targeting our Somali community. To our Somali community, we love you and we stand with you. That commitment is rock solid. Minneapolis is proud to be home to the largest Somali community in the entire country. They've been here for decades in many instances. They're entrepreneurs and fathers. They benefit both the culture and the economic resilience of our city.
I guess the fraud is contributing to the economic resilience of our city. This is absolute insanity. Now check this next clip out. This guy in the background, Minneapolis City Council member, listen to this news report. Listen to how he's involved in the fraud.
And yes, folks have done, horrible things, and people have committed crimes, but we should not be pointing the entire community in one brush.
I heard that MDE took this step to really stop feeding the kids in the middle of pandemic. My office had to do something.
In the video, Osmond tells the room how he arranged a call with the MDE commissioner about their attempts to stop new meal sites.
But I'm one of those people that push back and call it what it is, which is racist tactics. I told her this money is actually from the federal. Your job is to distribute fairly to the communities that deserve.
At the time he delivered this speech, Osmond's wife, Ilo Amba, was in the middle of claiming to run a meal site of her own in this small office in downtown Minneapolis that the Minnesota Attorney General in this civil complaint calls a fraudulent shell company. Public records show Amba's nonprofit Urban Advantage Services received $460,000 in reimbursements between February and November 2021. The AG shut it down, citing participation in the meal fraud scheme. What's more, testimony and evidence in Bach's ongoing trial has shown Osmond and Amba signed over control of a different, dormant nonprofit they founded together called Stigma Free. Osmond writing to its new board, quote, "I have seen growth during the time that I have served, and I'm confident you will continue to grow this amazing organization in my absence." The men who took over Stigma Free are charged with using it immediately to rack up more than $13 million in meal fraud across the state.
Councilmember Osmond, you agreed to sit down with me and talk about this week.
Osmond never returned follow-up calls or texts.
Is Councilmember Jamal Osmond in the office today?
And could not be found to answer questions at City Council or at his home.
So Osmond, although he doesn't seem to be taking any calls from the press, he doesn't answer the door. He's not at the city council meetings. He's at every presser now about the ICE agents. And I think it's really interesting when you see Jacob Fry and Mary Moriarty, all these people making statements. Think specifically of Jacob Fry and think back to the time of the George Floyd riots. He was nowhere to be seen. This guy was hiding. I called him Mayor Small Fry. But here's Jamal in the back of another presser. Just a quick statement here.
We want people to understand that our community is sophisticated, capable, and very smart.
Folks, there are smart people from every nationality. There are smart people in the Somali community. There are smart people all over the world in every single community. But let's not state something that isn't reality either. The nation of Somalia actually has one of the lower IQs in the world, one of the highest rates in corruption. And you're thinking, my gosh, if they've got an average IQ of 68, which many are saying it is, or 68 to 80, 70 is considered retarded. Since Somali's average IQ is 68, yet they scammed Tim Walz for $250 million. Maybe Trump was right with his statement the other day, folks. Hey, again, please go check out my sponsor, MyPillow, mypillow.com/lumberjack for big savings on the best sleep products available. Mike Lindell is running for governor. One of the ways you can support him is by getting some products over there. These towels are awesome. These are kitchen towels. A lot of people don't know he has this. These are antiviral, antimicrobial, antibacterial, and they're soft and they're absorbent. It's all based upon the cotton that's being used in that product. So go support Mike. Go support the show. And thanks so much for joining me today. We'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.